South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Good morning. Welcome in. It's Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. We're here on a Tuesday. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning. Feeling good today. Pretty happy. There's 3 of us college baseball fans that are holding a ticket that are pretty happy this morning.
Chaos abound, as we've talked about yesterday. Number 1, Vandy. Number 2, Texas. They gone. It's Arkansas, Tennessee. Probably your biggest leverage. They're all high leverage, but that's your best series on the board. Ooh. Tennessee, a 14 over the 14th seed against the 3 seed at Arkansas. We'll see. We'll have Kenny later this week. We'll be able to preview all these on Thursday with Kenny White. Later in the show, Curtis Terry, of course, former UNLV running rebel, and now the color commentator, the analyst of the UNLV radio broadcast with our good friend Matt Neverick will join us in the last 20 minutes of the show. So about 10:40 for Curtis Terry, the Uncommentary podcast as well. So we'll get NBA Finals talk. I know Alex will ask a question about Josh Pastner, who's taking over things here in Vegas. But NBA Finals preview with CT coming at 10:40. All right. Also, a quick note for tomorrow. Eddie Olczyk will join the show at 10:40 tomorrow morning. He's on the call for TNT for the Stanley Cup Final, so we'll have a full preview with Eddie O. And also, too, Belmont, as we talked about yesterday with Dwayne, loaded small field for Belmont at Saratoga. So we'll get Eddie's thoughts on the final leg of the Triple Crown, where the top 3 finishers in the Kentucky Derby will be there. Journalism, the winner of the Preakness and Sovereignty, the winner of the Derby will be there. Big time field at Belmont. All right. Let's get to it, Alex. We start in baseball here today. Ryan, can we just end the show because the Rockies won yesterday? Rockies not only win by multiple runs in front of maybe about a dozen fans in Miami, if you saw the pictures down there. Pretty sad outing.
Did see the pictures,
to say the very least. The Rockies are now 10-50. Is that good, Alex?
Not
10
good.
10-50. 23-35 for Miami. I'll be Dollander, who's back off the IL, missed about 4 starts because of that injury. Now back, or excuse me, 3 starts, now back. Sandy Alcantara on the mound for Miami, and you know what? It's -70 on the Marlins, plus 155 on the Rockies, total of 8. Alex, if the Rockies had lost yesterday, I would 100% be on Colorado here today. Taking that plus price in what I think is a pretty even pitching matchup. We've talked about how poor Alcantara has thrown this year, just coming off the missing last year with Tommy John. Dollander, again, stuff is good. It's just a matter of getting it all together. It would only be a take of Colorado at plus 155, Alex. Again, kind of like yesterday, Miami shouldn't be this big of a favorite against anybody, regardless if the Rockies are historically bad like they are.
No, there is definitely a little bit of a price difference there. I think that they should be the favorite at home here, the Marlins, about minus 150, though. So 20-cent difference are not enough to jump back on that plus 155, though, for me. Dollander, though, even though it's been about 20 days, his last two starts were really good against Texas and Arizona. I guess Arizona didn't really go very far, just 4 2/3 inning in that one. So that scares me a little bit here. I would love to take the under. I mean, looking at both of the offenses and their rating, but I really don't trust either of them, and I think that the Rockies can actually hit Alcantara, and we've seen him struggle. It's not getting better. His last outing, just 4 innings pitched, 6 earned runs in that one against the Padres. So it's a definite pass for me on this one between these two.
Would only be Colorado, but be cautious, as always, with a team that's a nice hearty 10-50. To begin the year. Hey, they finally made it to 10 wins. It was June 2nd yesterday. It's very, very sad. All right, let's go to Washington next. Cubbies on the road at the Nats. Nats are playing really well right now. They've won 7 out of their last 10. They're only 3 games under 500. They're actually ahead of the Braves. Not a lot of people had that on June the 3rd entering action. And Washington would be 3rd ahead of any of those big 3 in the NL East. The Cubs, as we've talked about, number 1 offense in baseball right now. The second best record to themselves in the NL at 37-22. It's going to be Horton and Williams. Cubs are minus 55 in D.C., total 9.5. Alex, this would only be a look to the over here. We know how good the Cubs offense is. Washington's offense had a palooza in Arizona over the weekend, except for that final game. But before that, their previous 4 games, 11-9, 9-9. So big-time offensive outburst until that one spot on Sunday in that loss to Arizona. It would only be a look to the over. Really love to see a 9. There is one at circa at minus 125, but that would be the way I'd look to play this, Alex.
You beat me to it. That's exactly what I was going to say. Only look to the over here and look for that 1-9 that is out there. It's not that big of a difference, but I don't really trust either pitchers. I mean, Cade Horton has been pretty good in his 4 starts and has not given up more than 3 earned runs his last 2. Really good against Miami, 5 1/3, and just 1 earned run, and then against Colorado, 6 2. So not the best of opponents there, but I do trust him more than Trevor Williams, who I think his last start was more of an outlier. 0 earned runs, 6 innings pitched against Seattle. Before that, he was giving up 5, 3, 4, and 4. So I definitely think the Cubbies are going to be able to get to him. So either over 9 or maybe look at the Cubs' first 5 because, like I said, I think Horton's going to be okay. I like what I've seen so far. And then Trevor Williams, I mean, median earned run is 3. And we know how good this offense is from Chicago.
Cubs offense, number 1 in baseball, as we've talked about for the big bulk of this year. As you mentioned, that start by Williams, best start of the year by margin last time out. Just any natural regression will help us there. Maybe a Cub, you said Cubs first 5 as a potential. On that. Cubs,
I didn't think about Cubs team total.
Yeah, that was where I was going to go next. Cubs are minus 30 first 5. If you want to lay the half a run, you could get it for plus 15. So you could take a little bit of a shot on that. Again, it's just a matter of trusting Horton. Cubs team total's got to be 5.5, 6.5 in that pocket here at 9.5 on that one.
Go. I finally got it.
What do you got, Alex?
Okay, Cubs is 5.5.
Minus.
You are correct. It is plus 110 though, going over.
That might not be bad.
Yeah.
At plus 110. I think I'd rather just have the full game. Washington's going to get us runs against Horton more likely than not. All right, we go to Cincinnati next. Brewers just continue to win baseball games. They do it again yesterday. They've won 6 in a row. And again, they haven't done it against complete pushovers. They swept Philadelphia over the weekend. And yesterday in a low-scoring game, they beat the Reds 3-2. What a pitching matchup here at Great American Ballpark here today. Hunter Green, Freddie Peralta. Reds are a small favorite at minus 125. Total's 8.5. Boy, I wish there was a 4.5 first 5. I wouldn't have even hesitated Still think under 4 first 5 is good with these two aces on the bump here today. As always, I have to tread carefully because I hate going under at this ballpark, as it is a hitter's haven, as we know, Alex.
Yes, I do agree, though. I do think that, I've got a strong lean to the under there in the first 5, and even the Reds' first 5, because as good as Freddie Peralta is, he's a little more inconsistent. I really like what I've seen from Hunter Green. So I think the Reds will be up. I saw minus 135 first 5 if you just want to stay away from that run line too, but might be a little correlated. First 5 under and Reds.
Wouldn't mind that. Minus 35 on Green first 5. If the Green is, I don't want to call him quite a Cy Young contender, but just on the outskirts of that race right now.
Geez, his median on the year 7 or 8 strikeouts to 1 walk.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yep.
Been great coming off a good, an okay start against Kansas City. Scattered 8 base runners over 5 his last time out. But before that, again, rain-shortened starts rain-shortened starts in Atlanta and Chicago as well. All right, speaking of Atlanta, Braves got to get their act together at some point, because we're deep enough into the season where you can start pressing that panic button. Entering today's action, 10 games out of first place in the National League East, 8.5 games behind Philadelphia. And right now, again, still early to look at wild card races, 5.5 behind the Cardinals right now for the final playoff spot in the National League. St. Louis owns that at the current moment. But the Braves have just been super average. And this is, again, another team, ridiculous home road splits, 17-11 at home, 10-20 away from Truist Park this year. And welcome to Diamondbacks, who've been pedestrian everywhere this year, underwater at both home and on the road. Arizona, another one, half a game ahead of Atlanta, on the outskirts right now of the playoff race, 3 games under 500, not playing well at all. Gallen and Strider. Strider's been inconsistent since coming back. Gallen's had his worst year as a starter right now. Minus 45 on the Braves, plus 30 on the Diamondbacks. And again, all you need to know about how these guys are struggling, you have a 9 with these guys.
Right.
You would not see that at any point in the past.
No, but you really can't blame the books here. That is the correct number. I'd almost even lean to the over. Looking at both of these guys, Gallen, last 3 opponents batting average 220 and a 5.23 xFIP, and then Strider 226 and a 4.96 xFIP. So I don't love how either one of these are really hitting right now. And Diamondbacks really, that's how they have so many wins, because even though their pitching staff has struggled, they have been really good offensively, and now that's kind of starting to slip up a little. So nothing definite. I would lean to the Braves side. I do trust Strider a little more than I trust Zach Gallen at this moment. And lean to the over, but nothing definite.
Would only be a look to the first 5 under, maybe even a Nerfy in this game, something in that pocket. At some point, both of these guys are going to turn around. And look, for Strider, it could be, we've seen now multiple guys come off Tommy John. We saw it with Alcantara, has been awful this year. Strider's really struggling. It's not a quick fix, no pun intended there, as opposed to what we're starting to see over the last few years, where some guys come back off Tommy John and are better. Hasn't been the case for Strider or Alcantara so far. I still can't believe how bad Gallen's been. Really only had 2 good starts so far this year for Arizona. All right, we go to San Diego and San Francisco next, Alex. Well, we didn't have to sweat our unders at all yesterday. 10 innings with 1-0. The final for the Padres. Giants have lost 3 straight Logan Webb starts after last night, which just can't be doing.
I know he went into the 8th. Do you know if
he was awesome last night?
I couldn't believe they couldn't get 1 run for him.
Yeah, he 8 shutouts, 7 strikeouts, 6 hits. Just nothing in the end. A 1-0 win for San Diego last night. Now game 2 of this series. Roop and Berger for San Diego. Minus 60 on Roop, plus 45 on the Pods. Total 7.5. Not much data on San Diego's starter, as we know. Roop, inconsistent, but when he's been good, he's been really good. This will probably be another under I look at here, with just the lack of trust in San Francisco's offense. This is, again, a weird one total-wise. 7.5 full game, 4.5 first five.
Yeah.
It would probably be only a look at that under 4.5 first five, Alex.
Honestly, I think a good price on this game is Padres plus half a run first five, just minus 110. Like you said, we don't have a lot on Berger, but I mean, I like what I've seen. And if you look at his minor league starts, he's gone deep into the games. And then, I mean, he's pitched 4 scoreless, of course, coming out of the bullpen, but I think he can give them enough to hang around. I don't really trust Landon Rope enough in this one. So, yeah, I like that Padres. I could see it being, like you said, even tied 1-1 at that point. So getting that half a run there for the first 5, I like it.
Under would be good too, and that's about 1-1. I'll take 1-1 through 5, Alex, and sign up right now for that one. All right, NLCS rematch of last year, game 2 of this series. Mets took game 1 last night in extra innings. Bizarro last 2 innings of that game, but Mets get it done in the end. Jose Butto gets Tommy Edman to end it. Game 2 tonight, McGill and Kershaw. Again, both of these pitchers have seen the opponent already this year. Kershaw minus 40, McGill plus 125. Actually, wrong on McGill. McGill didn't pitch in that Dodgers series, so first time seeing them this year. Total of 9. Kershaw went short in that start against the Mets because of a long, lengthy rain delay, so he didn't even make it 4 innings in that game. Alex, I would steer clear of this. I think everything's okay pricing-wise, even though I still don't know what I'm getting out of this version of Clayton Kershaw, where just not the same guy anymore. We know it. He's had a ton of injuries, just playing out the string of his career at this point before he gets inducted into Cooperstown 5 years after he retires. I don't know what I'm getting, so I'm staying the heck away from this one.
It would be a lean to Kershaw here in the Dodgers at home, especially after that loss yesterday. I do think the Dodgers bats will wake up. McGill has been above average, I would say, but he does have a few starts in there that scare me against the Yankees, against the Cubs, 4 earned runs to both of them. I think if this Dodgers lineup can wake up, I mean, clearly they're one of the best in the league. But so I would lean to the Dodgers. I think that's a pretty cheap price there. I also said that yesterday, but Blackburn was awesome in his return. Also kind of lean to the over. I think maybe, and I had it yesterday, did not get there, but I mean, even the first 5, both of these starters get hit up and can get some runs in that first 5. I believe it is 5, though. So it's a little higher than I would like. But Dodgers are over would be the play.
It is 5. It's minus 25 on the over, so you can get a nice plus price on under 5 if you want to take a shot there with McGill and Kershaw, even though that would not be our suggestion for what we just said on that one. All right, we go to the Bronx next. ALCS rematch of a year ago. It's Tanner Bybee and Carlos Rodon. Yankees big favorites here today, $2 in this one with a total of 8, Alex, plus 180 on the take back of Cleveland if you want to take Bybee.
No, I think that number's correct. I think the Yankees should be a $2 favorite here. I mean, Carlos Rodon has been awesome this year, and I like the Yankees at home. I don't want to have to deal with the bullpens. We know that the Guardians have one of the best in the league, and now Luke Weaver injury kind of hurts the Yankees too. So first 5, minus half a run, minus 130. That's making my board for sure. I really like this one, especially with Rodon on the bump for the Yankees in this first one. Looking at his median numbers, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts to 2 walks. I'll take those numbers and take my chances here against this Guardians lineup.
Rodon has been mostly high end this year. He's had a few clunkers mixed in there, but when he's been at his best, he's been, again, not in the Max Fried, but he has been a great number 2 for the Yankees. Going under in this ballpark always scares me with the way that right field plays like a softball stadium. But I'm going to stay out. I'm going to stay out of this game. Yankees just, as we've talked about, Yankees and Tigers really have separated themselves from everyone else in the American League. Tigers 6.5 games clear. Cleveland entering today's action.
I will just say, looking at his last 6 starts, only once did he give up more than 3 earned runs, and that was to the Athletics at that ballpark, which played out very well for you again yesterday. So I'll give him,
not even a sweat.
Give him a pass on that one. But other than that, I mean, his last 3, 1 earned runs to the Mets and 0 to the Rangers and the Angels. So come on. I hope he can do it again today.
Next up, we go to Boston. Red Sox and Angels, your matchup here at Fenway. Last night in game one of that series, Angels won a thriller, 7-6 the final for that one. Game two here, Red Sox will throw Bayo. It'll be Kikuchi on the Angels side. -30 on Boston, +15 on the Angels, total of 9, Alex.
Did you realize, because I was leaning to the Angels yesterday. I wish I would have pulled the trigger there. Did you realize every road team won yesterday?
I did not. Now that you say it, it did make sense. But what a nice parlay that would have been if you took that yesterday, Alex.
Very, very nice. It's another lean here for me for the Angels. Kikuchi's, been above average. I do think that we can trust him here. I don't love the fact that the Red Sox can definitely hit lefties, but I like what I've seen from his last 4 starts, especially. It hasn't gone that deep, though. It's really 5 innings, and that is what I put on the board here with the Angels, looking more at the first 5 if I were to do anything in this one. Kind of fortunate that they did get that win. Like you said, it was a thriller yesterday.
Crazy game. Good win, though, for the Angels. Red Sox just can't get out of their own way. We've talked about it, just can't get anything going for an extended period of time this year. All right, we go to Tampa next. Rangers and Rays, Rasmussen and Maley, your pitching matchup here in this one. Rays are -40, +125 on the Rangers, total of 8 in this one. This one's been a bouncer all over the place today, Alex.
I love this pitching matchup here. This is my favorite under for the first 5 between these two. It is 4, which I do like that number as well. But looking at both of them, Maley has 1.64 ERA and a 1.05 WHIP. And then on the other side, Rasmussen, 2.33 ERA and a 93, so a sub-1 WHIP for him. I do worry a little bit because he is coming off of 3 starts of 0 earned runs, 18 innings pitched, so that's pretty amazing there. And I'm kind of worried that we might see a little bit regression back to the mean, but I still am going to take my shot here under in the first 5. I also like the full game under. I think 8 is too high here, full game.
As always in this ballpark. Now, here's all I'll tell you. We're getting to the point now in Tampa where we're going to start seeing the Rays playing a ton of road games because the weather in Florida in the summer, as we know, is a disaster zone. So, strong storms this afternoon. There's a possibility this game gets axed before it even starts. But this is just something you're going to have to monitor in every Tampa game moving forward. Right now, looking at about an 80% chance of thunderstorms at game time and the wind blowing in, which helps you as well. But just throwing that out there to monitor, make sure you check the weather. And don't be surprised if you get your monies back in your account because the game got postponed more times than not down in Tampa. They're going to have to figure, I don't know what they're going to do this whole summer. But again, it's a reason they stacked all those home games early for the Rays. All right, we go to Chicago. Tigers, no sweat yesterday. We should have just laid all the alt run lines yesterday, Alex. That was a no sweater yesterday.
Thank you, Carpenter, for ruining my under, too.
The White Sox might as well just not showed up yesterday for you on that, Alex. But Tigers win huge 13-1 yesterday. They're -60 today. We don't know who's starting yet for them. We have an idea, but there's nothing official yet. +150, 145 on Smith, who has pitched pretty well for the White Sox this year. Total of 8.5 down on the south side. Alex, I don't care who throws for Detroit, and I don't care that Smith has been good. This is the same deal as yesterday for me. The Tigers are going to own the White Sox this year. They're the best team in the division. They match up well because the way that they play also is the really bad type of team for a horrible team to play against. Because Detroit just does everything the right way. It's not a lot of homers. It's just a lot of get the ball in play, high-end pitching, good bullpen. That's usually a bad mix against a horrendous team like the White Sox. I'm going to do this whole series. I'm going to take the Tigers, lay the 1.5 again, take a -160. That's cheap. I don't care who's pitching for Detroit. And look, if the White Sox are bound to beat them once or twice this year. So whatever, if I lose, I lose. But this is such a good price on Detroit. I don't care who's throwing today.
See, and I'm on the other. I would lean to the other side here, taking that +145. But I'm not going to bet it. I don't I don't have enough faith in Shane Smith, really. I mean, this Tigers offense has just been so good. But I do think it's going to be Sawyer Gibson-Long to get the start here for the Tigers, who has been very good, coming off a good rehab in AAA Toledo. So, I mean, it's another one I'm going to lean to the under, but I'm just going to stay off of that.
Next up, we go to Seattle. Mariners and Orioles. Shigano and George Kirby, your pitching matchup at T-Mobile. Kirby has really struggled to begin the year. 2 really bad starts coming off the IL, where he missed the first 2 months of the season. Sagano, as we've talked about, is a softball throwing guy. He's been okay for the Orioles so far. Minus 35 on the Mariners, and really that price just kind of shows you how bad Kirby's struggles have been to begin the year. The Mariners are only minus 135 against an Oriole team that, swept the White Sox over the weekend, but still has been the third worst team in the American, second worst team in the American, third worst now after the weekend. But I would, Alex, doesn't Kirby have to get right at some point? Doesn't it make sense that he get right at home, even though, again, a lot of talent in this Orioles lineup, they have not been at their best this year?
I think he's only got 2 starts under his belt. I'm not gonna bet on him to get right yet. I do think he will. I do agree with that. But I like the other side. I think Sagano's been just fine. I mean, looking at his road starts too, his last 4, he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs. He did only go 5 1/3 against the Royals, but Angels went 7 1/3. 1 earned run on 3 hits. Doesn't give up a lot of hits either. So I think that's the right side. I like Orioles plus a half a run, minus 115. I think that is a bargain there. If you really want to take a shot too, plus 130 for them to be leading after 5. And the Mariners, as good as they were to start, we are starting to see their bats kind of quiet down. So it's not like they're red hot like they were to start the year.
Well, we've talked about this. Ballpark suppresses hitting. And for a Mariner team that does have Cal Raleigh's leading the American League in homers right now, has some pop in this lineup. They're just not the same offense at home because of what that ballpark does to the baseball. All right, we go to Sacramento next. Alex, I'm just going back to the well. No, it's Pablo Lopez, who has been awesome this year. He's been great since getting acquired from Miami, from Minnesota. We don't know who's pitching for the A's yet. Here's the weather report tonight in Sacramento. It's going to be 89 degrees at first pitch. It's going to be 15-mile-an-hour winds out. Got to treat this like Coors, guys. Just got to treat this ballpark like Coors Field when the hitting conditions are ideal. I don't care who's on the mound. I'm going over until further notice when we're getting the wind blowing out in Sacramento. Last night, we won before the 5th inning even struck. I really would have loved to have seen a 9.5 here, but it's 10 because it's likely going to be a bullpen game for the A's. A's have been awful the last 3 weeks, as we've talked about. I'm going over again, Alex. I know it's Lopez, but the ballpark conditions are just so absurdly good for hitting here tonight.
I would like Twins team total. It is 5.5.
Do like that too, Alex.
It is juiced to the over, but I think that's the best way. I do think it's going to be Jacob Lopez, who has definitely struggled since been called up. I think he will catch on eventually, but such an advantage here with Pablo Lopez on the other side. I mean, he is one of the top pitchers going today. Opponent batting average and xFIP don't necessarily say it, but I love the 6-to-1 strikeout walk ratio. He has, and that is a median and a 1.5 earned run. So, yeah, I would go Twins team total for the over.
I actually, now that you brought that up, because I was thinking it might even be a 6.5 today. I like that. I'll lay juice on over 5.5 on Minnesota. And again, Minnesota could score 10 on their own here tonight pretty easily. So Twins team total over on the over for me in this game. It just, this ballpark has played. I know your dad has had dating through the years, but different quality of hitter, as we know, in the majors as opposed to the minors. So I'll just keep riding these overs until the books make it Coors Field numbers, which at some point you have to expect them that they will. And
to help you out, I mean, really, after Jacob Lopez, who do they have coming in? And I mean, even Mason Miller has been struggling. So, yeah, I think the Twins can continue their hitting like they have been as of late.
Going to Pittsburgh next. Paul Skeens hits the mound for the Pirates here tonight. Lance McCullers will go for the Astros interleague ball. Former NL Central matchup, as we know. Minus 155 tonight on Paul Skeens. Plus 140 on the Stros. It's been all Pittsburgh action, 15 cents worth of it since the opener last night. Total's gone down a half run from 7.5 and 7. I would love to lay the first 5 run line with the Pirates, but I'm not laying $1.30 minus a half. No way. This is stay off just because of the way this has been priced first 5 for me, Alex.
I thought first 5 under was the way to go on this one. I don't know why I didn't.
3.5.
Right, that went down 3.5.
That's probably why.
Yeah. McCullers, I mean, he's been good. His last 3 starts were, okay, I guess I can't say that if he only went 4 innings against the Rangers and the Mariners there. So I think you're right, though. I mean, I do think it would probably be Skeens in the first 5 if it was a better price. But I also don't love Skeens' numbers at home. I think his numbers have been much better on the road this year, so that kind of scares me, too. So I'm going to stay off of this one.
Going to Toronto next. More interleague games. Sanchez and Francis, your pitching matchup for the Phils and the Blue Jays. Minus 30 on the Phils, plus 115 on the Jays. Phillies just got clocked over the weekend by Milwaukee, as we discussed yesterday. Swept in that series at home. This feels like a good bounce back spot for Sanchez, who is, again, pitching at a very high level this year. Best price in the market on Phillies, minus 127. I think that's good here, Alex. You take the Phils to bounce back after that bad weekend at home, go north to the border. Take Philadelphia here in this one against the Jays.
I worry about their bullpen, but I completely agree with you. I think this is a great price on the Phillies. First 5 is minus 155, I think for good reason. A huge advantage here with Sanchez over Bowden Francis. So playing it either way of either one, those two, I do like the Phillies here today, even though the Blue Jays have been red hot. And their numbers in the last 7 are pretty crazy. 325 batting average, 407 OBP, and 177 WRC plus. So we'll see if Sanchez can slow them down. But Blue Jays, I mean, looking at the splits too, they're also very good against lefties. So we do have that to consider when betting this one.
And then the last one on the board today, we go to St. Louis. The I-70 battle is in St. Louis this week. Lorenzen and Palante, your pitching matchup for the Royals and the Cards, minus 50 on St. Louis. Plus 135 on the Royals, total of 9. But that's not the story here. Jack Caglione, the number 10 rated prospect in baseball, of course, was dominant pitcher and the best hitter in college baseball when he was at the University of Florida, will make his major league debut tonight, called up for the Royals. I will just throw this at you, Alex. So Jacob Wilson has been amazing for the homeless Athletics this year. Caglione's best number in the market is 12-1. If Wilson did not have a 2-month lead on Caglione, I would be a no-brainer. We're taking Jack. If he doesn't get there, he doesn't get there. Wilson has been arguably a top 10 player in the American League this year from a hitter's perspective. Boy, but if you're in a FanDuel jurisdiction, you can get 12-1 on Jack Caglione. I would take at least a little pizza money on it. He's going to be immediately the 3rd best hitter in the Royals lineup, and maybe even the 2nd best hitter behind Bobby Witt. He is that good. He's more homers against lefties than righties in the minor leagues. I don't think he's going to struggle against big league pitching. I would make a look at that. For tonight, there's no play on this game, but I at least wanted to get that out there with a high-end prospect who has had some buzz in the minors because of the two-way action. Don't expect him to pitch, but hitting should be enough for Caglione to be in that race with Wilson moving down the stretch.
This is a definite pass on this game. I think those numbers come just right. I was leaning to first 5 over because both these pitchers have a nice median of 3. But looking at the offensive numbers, I mean, they really have not been great, especially from the Royals side. So it's a pass for me as well. But I think you make a great point because imagine if they would have started at the same time, how big of a favorite he would be. So it is going to be an uphill battle, but 12-1 is a pretty dang good number.
Yeah, FanDuel's got that shop. Vegas numbers aren't quite as good for the shops that are out here. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, hoops, hockey, whiteboard, trivia question answer, which is going to be in the bottom as well. And we get back, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
Football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. Or maybe you're in the mood for seafood. Big Sur Oyster Bar has fresh seafood prepared right before your eyes. Savor freshly shucked oysters, crab legs jambalaya, shrimp and lobster. Beers on tap and a selection of fine wines are perfect to pair with your seafood favorite. Whether lunch or dinner, you'll love this fun atmosphere, located just off the casino floor. Ready to shake things up? Step back in time and treat yourself to one of the oldest restaurant chains in the country. Steak and Shake, famous for original mouth-watering steak burgers and hand-dipped milkshakes in a variety of flavors. For some old-fashioned fun, try Steak and Shake.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
This is the best sports betting network.
I would argue it is a total mismatch.
There's value with underdog prices in series.
I would lean to the under here.
My numbers are saying I got to bet the Tigers.
Two-way action.
When in doubt, we juice that favorite, that extra nickel.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
Forget about it. The best.
Welcome back in, Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. We're going to actually get an early whiteboard here today, so not just yet, but before we throw that up there, Alex, just a quick thing on the hockey series before we get Curtis Terry in about five minutes from now. So just a reminder for everyone, we'll get Eddie Olczyk on the show tomorrow, which will be a lot of fun. Oilers right now are minus 130. Here at the South Point, best price in the market's minus 125. You just brought up something during the break where New Age books will have this, so shop around to see what the pricing is. Oilers to win game one and then win the series? That's not a bad option, I would say, Alex, because, again, I know they lost game one of both of the last two series, or excuse me, they lost game one of the last series to Dallas and ended up winning 4 straight with the backdoor sweep. But Stuart Skinner's confidence really, for this series for sure, if Skinner gets off to a bad start, I think it snowballs in this series. Unlike the past series where Florida just has extra dimensions that the other team, that Dallas did not have by the end, and Vegas didn't show at all in that series against Edmonton.
No, and home ice, so it does make a lot of sense here in this one because I do like the Oilers in game one, definitely. And I mean, the revenge factor, I definitely am strongly leaning towards the Oilers taking this one.
We'll have the full preview tomorrow. Game 1 is tomorrow night in Edmonton. Again, minus 30 right now at the South Point. Minus 125 for game 1, minus 130 for the series. All right. We're doing this early today. Don't worry, the trivia answer will come at the end of the show. But we're doing this right now. Alex White has a nice collection of whiteboard plays here on a Tuesday. Also, of course, stay with us because Curtis Terry is going to be joining us after we take a quick break after the whiteboard, which Alex has right now.
So I am going Padres here. A lot of first five. Padres first five. I do like this Ryan Berger that they have going on the mound. Don't trust Landon Rope as much. So getting a half a run, minus 110. I like the Yankees minus that half a run. They are at home in the first five, minus 130. Carlos Rodon has been fantastic for them this year. I like the Orioles getting half a run, minus 115 first five. And then this game, I really like the under. Rangers Rays under 8. Keep checking the weather, of course. And then I do like under 4 in the first five with both of those starting pitchers.
There you go. That's what Alex is on here today. Wow, 80% first five here today for Alex White. One full game in that one. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Curtis Terry will join us next, preview the NBA Finals, and much more when we get back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White. And now joining us, you hear him on UNLV running Red basketball during the regular season, him and Matt Neverett on the calls for the game on a radio call. You also hear him on Cofield and Company as well, where you'll hear Alex later today as well. It's our good friend Curtis Terry joining us right now. Curtis, thanks for being with us this morning.
Guys, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. And, of course, we'll talk a lot of NBA Finals here. And let's just start. I just want to start on the Oklahoma City end of things, Curtis, where They win 68 games in the regular season. They sweep Memphis out. They really have to work hard to beat Denver in what was an epic 7-gamer and then run Minnesota out pretty quickly in 5 games. Curtis, I'll just ask you point blank on this. Has this just been an all-time team hiding in plain sight as we enter the NBA Finals with OKC?
I think the biggest thing with them has been a slow build. Obviously, what Sam Presti has done in terms of with the draft. First of all, going out and getting SGA and then all the draft picks that they had, and just kind of slowly building this roster. When Chet Holmgren missed his first true rookie season, but they've just been stacking this team, and they've gotten better and better over the 5 years that Coach Daigneault's been in charge, from year 1 to where they are now in year 5. And the best two records that they've had in the league the last 2 years. I mean, this team is really, really good, and they really came together. And I think it was just a matter of kind of the old Joel Embiid adage, kind of trust the process. And they've really done that, and I think it's shown to where they are now.
My question for you is, we saw in the conference semifinals, the Nuggets really pushed it there, got to 7 games. But then Minnesota, I mean, gentlemen's sweep for them. What do you expect here in this one against the Pacers? And I guess that is assuming that you think that the Thunder are going to win. But do you think it's going to be a long series between these two?
I think this one can go either way. I think with how both of these teams are built, I think it's going to be very competitive. Obviously, the Thunder are the best team top to bottom. They've shown that throughout the course of the season. They've got the MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and what he's been able to do in leading this team. But you can't turn a blind eye to the Pacers. I think what they did in terms of last year, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then bowing out against the Celtics, but then getting back to this point now, and being in a position to where they have some confidence in what they've done in each series in terms of going out and taking care of the Bucks, then taking care of the Cavs, who a lot of teams had them pegged to be able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not the Finals. And then what they were able to do against the Knicks and kind of decidedly handle those guys in multiple 30-point game blowouts. When you look at these two teams, I mean, obviously, with the Thunder having the best record on the season, but in terms of what they did since the All-Star break, 24-4. But the Pacers were 20-9 since the All-Star break. And so in terms of how these guys really just put together their season and the confidence right now that the Pacers are playing with Halliburton, going out there, leading the team, and the way that they play so fast, it's just up and down basketball. They don't care who gets the stats and the statistics or the credit, but this team is playing fast. They got an NBA champion coach and Coach Carlisle. So I think this team can really creep up on you, but they've got to do a couple things good in terms of shoot the ball well and not turn the ball over. Because on the flip side, the Thunder are the team and the best in the NBA that forces turnovers, and they're one of the teams that turns it over the fewest. So it's going to be contrasting styles, offense to defense, getting up and down and being efficient. But I think it should be a great series. But I wouldn't write off the Pacers so soon.
Curtis, you just made the point that I think is the big key in this series. This is such a contrast of what both of these teams want to do, where Indiana, you mentioned it, they were great after the All-Star break. If you even push this back to January, you have the best record in the West and the best record in the East since the month of January in this series. So you ended up with the two best teams since the calendar changed. And I'll just ask you, when you're a team that wants to play as fast as Indiana, and now you're facing a top 3 defense after playing a Knicks defense that was in shambles by the end of that series. They eviscerated Cleveland, who was known for their offense more so than anything. How does this change when you're a team that is so built on playing fast through your offense, and now you're playing an elite defense for really the first time in this postseason?
Yeah, I don't think their attack is going to change too much. I think they know what their bread and butter is. It's for them to be able to get stops and then attack in transition, whether it's off the make or off of the miss. And so they have to push it in transition. They've got to get the ball out quick. They've got to get to Halliburton in the open court, spread the floor. They've got 5 shooters on the floor at all times, even with Siakam and Miles Turner. But they've got to be able to attack and play fast, and to continue the style of play that's made them successful, which is it doesn't matter who gets it done, who gets the points, who gets the credit. We've got to play fast. We've got to try to get as many possessions as we can. Kind of throw back to those Mike D'Antoni days when he was with the Suns, kind of 7 seconds or less basketball. They want to play fast, get up and down the court, and that's when they're at their best. But like I mentioned, they can't turn the ball over. I think they were able to get away with it a little bit in those previous series against the Cavs and with the Knicks, but they cannot turn the ball over at a high rate. If they do, they're going to be in trouble against this Thunder team because they execute so well and they are so good defensively. That's going to limit your opportunities on the other end to score. But then they've got to continue doing what they've been doing, and really what's kind of been separating them in the other stark comparison is shooting the three-pointer. The Pacers have been shooting about 40% so far in the playoffs, to whereas the Thunder only been shooting 33%. And so if you continue to have those stark contrasts right there, that's going to be a situation to where the Pacers are going to have a good chance to continue to be successful and have a chance to steal this series and also get the first NBA championship for the Indiana Pacers organization.
With that right there, let's start with game one. We have the odds up. The Thunder 9.5-point favorite in this first game. I mean, you mentioned it. Three-pointers could be the difference in this. Would you take the points here with the Pacers in game one?
You know, that's a tough one. I mean, 9.5 is a lot, right? We talk about this with any sport. When you're given that many points, double-digit points staying there, you've got to feel some type of confidence, especially at this stage of the season. And I think for the Pacers, the other thing to add is they have nothing to lose. So for them, if they're going to go out here, be aggressive, want to play fast, and all the pressure is on the Thunder, they're supposed to get it done. They've got the MVP. They're supposed to be the dynasty in waiting, or the dynasty that's about to take place. So I think that would be a good number for them. But again, it's the first game, and typically the kind of that first quarter is going to be a feel them out kind of game in terms of kind of like a boxing match, right? You just want to kind of see what your opponent has, kind of try to figure out their strategy, their mentality. So I like that number. But then again, we've seen what the Thunder can do at home, and they can flip that thing very quickly, especially if you turn the ball over. So I think you'll be able to tell within the first 5 or so minutes of the game how it's going to play out, the type of possessions that the Thunder are able to have offensively and defensively, but more telling what the Pacers are able to do if they're able to get some stops, or if not, at least get out of backcourt and in transition quickly.
Curtis, just real quick on the MVP market for this series. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is almost as big of a favorite to be the MVP of this series as the Thunder are. $6 at DK for SGA right now. Halliburton's at plus 750. Siakam, who just, to some, surprisingly won the Eastern Conference Final MVP, 16-1. You can get 19 over at FanDuel. Jalen Williams at 35-1. Holmgren at 80-1. Everyone else is you would be winning a lot of money on a $10 bet, to say the very least. But can you make an argument for non-SGA and Halliburton, especially after seeing Siakam winning the Eastern Conference Final MVP for this MVP market here, CT?
I mean, if the Thunder are going to win the championship, I don't see a way that it's not going to be SGA. He's going to have to come out and play what he's been doing all season and all playoffs. I mean, averaging 31-plus points a game. He's got to come out there and do that, get his eight assists, 5.5, 6 rebounds a game. He's got to have that type of performance to be able to lead this team to a championship. And if the Pacers are going to get it done, it's going to be Tyrese Halliburton or Pascal Siakam. We've seen that, and Halliburton had a great series. I mean, in the course of those, 6 games, he had 63 assists, 10 turnovers, and we talk about the huge triple-double that he had. He's the way he's able to lead this team and play with a confidence. And I think a lot of his NBA peers probably sparked this fire in him by voting him most overrated player in the league. He's really kind of flipped that thing upside down and taken this thing by storm. But for him, Halliburton, and Siakam, they've got to play well. They've got to come out and do what they've done and so far in this playoffs. But it also helps that Siakam has been here before. The fact that he was able to do this with the 2019 Raptors, that's going to give him some of that confidence. Hopefully he can calm down that locker room. But I think in terms of MVP finals MVP, it's going to be one of those 3 guys. If the Thunder win, I don't see any way it's not going to be SGA. And if the Pacers are able to pull it off, I mean, you get a lot of good value there with Halliburton and Siakam.
If the Pacers are able to pull it off, there are some other bets that I did share with you, and that is how many games it'll go. So it'll be the Thunder in 4, 5, 6, or 7, or the other way. If we have those, we can throw those up as well. But I'm curious what your pick is. Who's going to win and in how many games? And then we can kind of see what the odds are for that.
Yeah, when you sent me that the other day, Alex, I mean, that's to me, that's wild, right? I mean, first of all, the fact that the Thunder are favored by so much. And I think they said the last 2 times that's happened, I mean, it's only been 2 other teams that have gone into it and lost in terms of not being able to win when they're favored by that much. But I think when you look at it, I mean, the Pacers in 6 looks like something that would probably be realistic if they're going to get it on 6 or 7. I don't think there's a way that they can come in and steamroll the Thunder. I think the Thunder are too good. Daigneault is too good of a coach. They've got too much of a young core and too many guys to keep throwing at you. The Thunder, though, in 5 or 6 is what it would look like to me on the other end. I think the Thunder get going, get these first 2. Pacers could still win in Indy, but then you're probably going to be looking at an uphill battle like everybody else has when you're down 2-1 or 3-1. But so those would be the ones I would lean towards. And again, you get a lot of good value there If you think the Pacers can come out and steal one of two early and get that home court, then you're playing with some house money.
I think we were both leaning to Thunder in 5 or 6 as well.
Yeah, I'd probably look at Thunder in 5. Right now, actually, if you just want exact length of the series, you can get plus 230 on 5 games. And somehow Indiana pulls the shockers. You're still winning anyway on that. Curtis, I want to go to the NBA draft since we're a few weeks away. Obviously, Dallas stunned everyone and got the first overall pick. We were so close. Curtis, we were so close to San Antonio winning that lottery and us seeing Wemby and Flag together, which would have been amazing in every way. But, Curtis, just your thoughts on Dallas winning the lottery. And then everyone obviously at this point is saying, all right, Flag's going 1, Harper's going to go 2. After we get past those top 2, is there anyone that you're looking at it like, all right, this guy's going to be a high-end player as well?
I mean, obviously, I think it's how convenient in terms of the NBA draft lottery, how it plays out, right? I mean, for the Mavericks to go and do a never in a lifetime trade that they execute in terms of shipping Luka off to the Lakers and teaming him up with LeBron and putting him in that big market. The Lakers pulled a quick one, or they were just gifted something really, really nice way before Christmas. But the fact that the Mavericks were able to get that number 1 pick, that we'll leave how that looks in terms of the optics, in terms of conspiracies or not, we'll leave that to the side. But I think for the Mavericks, that's huge if they're able to get Cooper Flag. If you can get a healthy Kyrie back at the end of next year or going into Cooper's second year in the NBA, you can really do some things. And now they're talking about trying to go out and maybe trade for Drew Holiday or a lot of different pieces. They can really build this team in this first year, get his feet wet, and then really hit the ground running and try to make a run at this thing next season or the following season. But besides Dylan Harper, I mean, Ace Bailey's a name that comes out that looks like a guy that's going to have some really some strong talent to play his game at the NBA level. At the college level, when he was at Rutgers, didn't really have the floor spacing and have the guys surrounding him to be able to do what he needs to do, to be able to ISO, pick and roll basketball, pick and pop, really control the game kind of in that more pro style. Dylan Harper obviously fit the build better in college from that standpoint. But I think those 3 guys, 1, 2, 3, are probably going to be what you're looking at unless a trade happens, right? Unless somebody does something funky. They're talking about Kevin Durant might get moved. And some other guys may be in flux moving around here or there. But it's going to be interesting to see kind of how this thing shakes out. Because I think 1, 2, 1 for sure, you've got a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. But then after that, I think you've got some guys that you can kind of plug and play depending on your roster. But also it comes down to if you want to move up in that draft, if you think you're a piece or 2 away. But I think the thing to keep in mind here is like the Thunder, what Sam Presti's done, he's slow-rolled and slow-played this thing. If you can get the draft picks and the guys that you want and you believe in your coaching staff and in your player development staff, you can build out a program, build out a roster, and kind of retool your organization. And it might take a year or 2 longer, but you're going to have a lot more sustained success because what they have right now with this core of the Thunder is kind of what the Rockets are looking at right now with their group as well. So if you can move this thing along slowly, you can have a lot of success as well.
Last thing before we get you out of here, I know we've still got some time, but I know you're following the transfer and seeing this new team that the new head coach, Josh Pastner, is putting together for the Runnin' Rebels. What are your overall thoughts so far? It looks a little different. It seems like a lot of seniors and juniors. We got some Illinois, Iowa transfers, and then UC Irvine, a player coming in. So overall, how do you think it's gone so far?
Yeah, obviously, I think Coach Pastor's done a great job. I think right now with the landscape of college athletics, it's a tough position to put yourself in to have to come in and rebuild your program year after year. Coach Kevin Kruger had to do that 3-4 years in a row, not just his roster, but his staff as well that first year. And so for these guys to be able to come in and Coach Pastor's been through the gauntlet in terms of his playing days at U of A, winning a national championship, coaching under Hall of Fame coach Lute Olson, Calipari, taking over at Memphis, going to Georgia Tech. He's been through the ringer. He's had some success. He sent some guys to the NBA. He knows what it takes to get it done. And I think how he's built this team out, it's kind of similar to what Coach Kevin Kruger was doing. You're getting some guys at a higher level that didn't really have that opportunity or didn't quite get to achieve what they wanted to. But I think the talent that he's grabbed across the board with some big, some athleticism, some guards that play at a really high level. You talk about the kid, Miles Shea, the kid that they brought from California, big-time shooter. So I think if they can really get this team to gel, they've got some versatility, but you just want to make sure that they're able to hold up, especially in the Mountain West, which is known as kind of a defensive, a tough, battling, night in and night out conference. But nonetheless, I think Coach Pastner's the right guy for the job right now, and hopefully he can get the Running Rebels back to the postseason and ultimately back to the NCAA tournament.
Of course, a small break from Georgia Tech and then did some media now, head coach of UNLV. You're in the media now. How do you think that can help him and use that experience as a head coach?
Well, everybody says he made the right decision, right, in terms of leaving the media. He got out of the crazy world, kind of which what we all live in. But I think for him, the biggest thing is when you're in that position like he is, working for ESPN and being an analyst, you get to watch a lot of games. You get to break down a lot of games that you typically don't see if you're just an average fan. Even if if you're someone that likes to bet on the games, you're not able to watch every game. But in that capacity, you're able to sit there. You break down all the games. You have conversations with coaches. He's still ingrained in it. So I think he was able to kind of take a step back and pick and choose, and like, you know what, I would do this better if I was in that position, or I would maybe want to implement this or try this next time around. And I think the big thing about Coach Pastner, he's a very cerebral guy, and he knows what he wants to do and needs to do, and probably was critiquing himself that whole time. He took that step back away from coaching, was like, this is what I need to do next time, this is how I'm going to fix it. And we all know that second chances are everything. It's not like he needed a second chance, but for him, that next opportunity to prove what he wants to do and achieve. And I think this is one of the better recruiters in college basketball. He's proven that from his time at grassroots when he was helping his dad with the Houston Hoops program down in Houston, to when he was at U of A and working guys out. I think Coach Pastner is one of the good ones out there, and hopefully he can put this thing together and get guys to buy in quickly and have some success and gain some traction right away.
He's Curtis Terry, of course, the analyst on UNLV men's basketball with our good friend Matt Neverett. Also, you hear him on local radio here in Las Vegas as well. Curtis, thanks for hanging with us today. Thanks for previewing the finals, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, guys. You have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Curtis Terry, everyone, here on Sports by the Book. All right, before we get out of here today, the whiteboard already popped up here today. So if you missed the whiteboard, once we're done in about 90 seconds to 2 minutes from now, go back about 10:30, and you'll be able to see Alex's picks for today. Trivia question. This was an interesting one. On this date in 1989, legendary baseball play-by-play guy Vince Scully called a total of 23 innings in 2 different MLB games in 2 different cities. Oh, tough one. Which 2 games was he on the call for? The answer to that, he was on the call in St. Louis for Cubs-Cardinals. That game went 10. And then Vin got on a plane, went to Houston. Dodgers and Astros had already completed 9 innings. So Vin only got the last 13 innings of a 22-inning marathon game that the Astros ended up winning 5-4. And, of course, the following day, Vin was on the call for Dodgers and Astros that went 13 innings. It's a lot of baseball in 2 days, Alex.
That's a good question. I like it.
Nick got it done. So Nick's on the board here in the month of June. Boy, I miss Vin. I miss Vin so much. What a guy. What an announcer. But Nick, the correct answer here tonight. All right. That's what we got for you. You and I are back tomorrow. Kenny will be here. And Eddie Olczyk will be with us at the end of the show tomorrow as well. So we're looking forward to that right here on Sports by the Book. Alex, good luck on your plays. Drew Dog, Jerry, Ryan, Vince, and Ann, thank you as always. I'm Jeff Parles. We'll see you again tomorrow. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.